Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rapid Agency Growth Podcast, where we talk about how you can rapidly scale your digital marketing agency. Now, if you are watching this live interview outside of our Facebook group, what are you doing? Go and find the link above or below this video, or go to smmamastermind.com and you will be redirected to the group. Now, we are on multiple platforms. You might be seeing us on Facebook or on YouTube or LinkedIn or Apple or Google Podcasts, whichever platform you're watching us on. Make sure to subscribe, especially if you are looking to get gems from some of the best minds in the digital agency community. Now, today I have a very special guest actually joining me from Austin, Texas. And what we are going to talk about is how you can use a low cost, lean team to hit multiple six figures in your business. And he actually has a very special gift for you. So if you watch till the end, we're giving away something worth $997. But for the time being, I'd like to welcome Morgan Zolko, who is the founder of Hudson Valley Agency. Morgan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity, man. I'd love to chat it up and give just pure value. My goal is to help everybody that I can on this call, and we got the way. We got the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the people who are watching this who might not know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction? Who are you? How did you get into the digital agency space?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Morgan Zolko, and I am 21 years old. I jumped into the digital marketing space right into an agency from the first year of my, right out of high school. I took a gap year. I actually got accepted into a few colleges. I was going to be a graphic designer. Glad that I didn't do that because, the whole goal of that gap year was to make some money and try to figure out how to work for myself because I was just so intrigued by that topic. And I've also, always been a kind of tech guy or computer guy. I'd always be the guy who, fixes grandma's computer and stuff like that.
Nice.
First year, I made 10K total. I was jumping around in different businesses, just, trying to get, the grind, YouTube videos and books and just trying to figure out my way, through this whole online marketing. It's pretty much all online marketing. That's a blanket term. So I started out with e-commerce, as many of you guys probably have as well. And from there, I didn't make too much money. I think I only made like $300 total. And I was like, this isn't working for me. It's not direct money. It's just kind of a passion project. I was selling some cool stuff that I thought was cool. But I didn't, it just wasn't really for me. So eventually about 6 months in, I got an idea of the social media marketing agency space by Ty Lopez, of course, right?
Who else, right? I mean,
yeah,
he
who else?
coined that SMMA term, right?
Yeah. So he introduced it to me, and most people, started out buying his course. I didn't have like any money, so I was just watching his videos. I got into Amagotsi, just the common names, kind of the pioneers in the space, if you will. And eventually, I actually took it seriously. I started an LLC. I got on some trial clients. I started out in the real estate space. I'm sure you guys can relate to that as well. And to this day, we still do real estate. We also have just a few other niches, but yeah, that's really the core of it. So the first year, like I said, of me starting my agency, so it wouldn't be the first year, the first 6 months, because I guess you can say the gap year that I took, out of high school. I made about 10K, which I thought was really cool. It was really just from some paid trials and nothing serious, nothing scalable at all. I was doing all the work myself. We all got to start somewhere.
Sure.
And yeah, and it really kind of popped off when that summer of the gap year, I just randomly had an idea to make a post on the real estate marketing conversions mastery group with Shane Keeler and Matt Kramer. They were, I guess you can say, those were my first real mentors because it was the first program that I actually invested in. And I just had the idea. I was like, why don't I try to sell my services to other agency owners,
Hmm.
like provide the marketing fulfillment, because I'm having sales trouble, right? And we eventually got that figured out, and I'm going to talk about that a lot more. But yeah, I just had this idea. Hey, $250. I know how to generate leads, and who's interested, who's an agency owner who wants some fulfillment
Yeah.
for their clients, and I got like 80 or so comments on that. I got my first
Oh,
like
wow.
five clients in the first week, and then a few more trickled in over time. And yeah, it's really how I started to kind of make a name for myself. Now, I don't want you guys to confuse this with the fact like, oh, he had to switch over to white labeling to actually, get a successful agency, because
That's totally fine as well. You need to pivot as you go along. Everyone has their own
that's,
journey.
that's correct. Yeah, but what I found, like what I learned throughout working with, now at the point when I was getting on these 5 clients, 10 clients, right? I was working with 10 clients at a time, a month from that point. What I found is that the same principles apply, and I needed to know sales. I needed to know how to automate my delivery. That was brand new to me because I had all these clients now, and prospecting, right? How am I going to scale this? And what I found is that maybe it wasn't like it was an awesome kind of launch pad, and I still have scale with white label to this day, still taking on clients and whatnot. But what I found is that I kind of neglected a lot of the skills that were pivotal for my current business right now, which is helping agency owners to set up done with them their lean team and build out their systems with them. So um, I feel like I kind of neglected a lot of aspects to the marketing and sales side because the clients were kind of just coming in easy. And when it kind of died off after that year, I really had some lessons to learn. So we'll talk about
Yeah.
that more as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because, I mean, you mentioned you've worked over the last couple of years with over 300 different agencies, and so many of them have been plugging into your own business. And now you've got this new focus. And one of the things that we are going to talk about is the 5 pillars of, you can name this better, I can, the gateway to,
It's
fill in the gaps here.
yeah, the narrow gate that leads to scale. So if
There
you
we go. There we go.
the verse, the narrow gate that leads to life, well, this is the narrow gate that leads to scale. So yep.
Let's dive right in. So, could you just kind of go through the 5 pillars that you have discovered, shall I say? Because obviously you've done this through your own experience, where you've done it through trial and error, and now you've kind of, put a framework around it. So I think it'll be useful for a lot of people to hear more from you in terms of what it all entails.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And when I was saying that I needed to learn like these aspects that I neglected, the sales and the marketing, and what it actually took to scale a business, this is what I had to discover. This is what I had to figure out for myself. And it's really just a preface before we jump into what the 5 pillars are. Um, what I found is that any sort of course that I got, because I've invested in a lot of courses, about 50K in training and mentorship. And what I've found is that most people are just teaching the individual strategies, but I focus on the foundations that are actually going to it just works every single time. They're the principles. And I know like you guys are probably kind of tuning out right now because you want to know the special strategy, right? That's
Where's the money? People want the money, right? Where's the easy money? But this is the
yeah,
kind of stuff that, as you say, is foundational to building multiple 6, 7, even 8-figure agencies. So this, for the people with whom this clicks, they will make a lot of money in the long run.
yeah. Trust me on that one, guys. I wish I knew this. I figured this out midway 2020 and or 2021 it was. I forget what year we're in. We're already in the new year. But yeah, I figured this out. And once I did, business became simple. And that's the whole point, is that just before I jump into what the 5 are, you want to realize that, or the whole framework that you want to base your agency on, and what you, the actions that you put in to grow your agency, is that it's about less action and the right action, right? So it's not about doing less or being lazy. That's not what I'm saying. And I think that's a common misconception with a lot of people. Oh, you're trying to build a team so you can have passive income and just sit on a beach, of that lifestyle business. And it absolutely does not work that way. So you guys got to be prepared to put in the work, but you got to put in the right work. And it really only comes down to 5 actions, 5 pillars, 5 types of action that leads to growth. And so let's jump into it. And I'm gonna explain each piece of it and how they all work together, because they do. And you need all 5 of these pieces in place to have that narrow focus, that narrow gate that leads to scale. So let's jump right in. The first piece to this, guys, is your team and your systems. Now, why is that, right? What do I mean by that? First of all, well, you need to have some sort of delegation happening in your business. If you're working with 3 clients or more, it's time. And what that means is that just bring on a VA part-time. It doesn't mean that you have to put in this massive investment, but what that's going to allow you to do is, if you bring on a team and you build out your systems, they're operational, you do it properly. That's what I meant. That's what I mean by that. What that's going to allow you to do is delegate anything else besides the 4 other actions, the 4 other pillars. So with that preface, what do I mean by pillars? What are these things that I'm talking about here? Well, these are daily actions. And you guys have probably heard of the concept of time blocks. This is what changed everything for me. This is what allowed us to scale 30K, and also allowed me to currently scale my coaching biz. Is you need to spend the most time and the most effort on the least things that lead to the most result. Okay, so let me say that again. You need to spend the most time and the most effort on the least things that lead to the most results. Okay, and it's only 4 things outside of you managing your team. So let's jump into the first one, right? Your team and your systems. What are you doing on a daily basis? Well, this is awesome, because I'm actually going to give you guys a team regimen. And if you in the special bonus, it's going to be a part of it. And it's really a 40-minute breakdown. Now, it really depends on how many team members you have, but I got to explain this to you. It only takes 3 team members to scale to 30 to 50K per month.
And a lot of people are hearing this and they'll be like, what? That can't be quite right. Surely you need more people around you than that. But please explain.
Yes. Yeah. So let me run through the kind of scale here. I call it the team scale. The 3 team members are, first of all, VA, as I mentioned before. Second of all, somebody to handle your delivery. I call it a delivery expert or a marketing manager. And then the third team member is a setter, an appointment setter. Okay. And you really don't even want to think about getting a setter. You don't even want to have that in your mind, in your peripheral vision, until you're booking around 10 meetings a week for your offer, and your offer is proven. That's what that means. So we'll jump into that more soon. But these are the 3 team members that takes the scale. It really only takes 2 till about 20K, 15K, right? I mean, it really depends on what you're charging. Remember that metric, 10 meetings a week. That's what you should be booking on a consistent basis. So why did I start out with your team and your systems? It should be last, right? You guys are probably like, well, what about the systems that are gonna, the prospecting, and what about the shiny whatever that is going to bring me those meetings? Well, the thing is, you cannot narrow your focus down into the core 4, which is the 4 other actions and pillars, unless you have your team operating for you, unless you get your delegation down. So how do you do that? Well, I mean, that's everything I teach. We're going to go into that more after we talk about the 5 pillars and give you the rundown. But what I want you to understand is that it only takes around 45 minutes a day to manage your team. And that's at 2 team members, and that's for me, right? I have 2 team members right now, a delivery expert and then also a VA. And we're bringing on a setter next like week or two. Just like wanted to kind of like figure some things out first. I mean, I'm telling you guys, like it shouldn't even be in your peripheral vision to try to outsource sales yet. So that's the big thing that holds us all together, is that your goal is to outsource and delegate everything besides the core 4.
Yeah.
So you can't jump into the core 4 unless you're fully focused on those things. What do I mean by that? Well, are you booking your own Calendlies, right? Are you making invoices? Are you sending contracts right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing these things that can be SOP, standard operating procedures, which means just a no decision, step-by-step instructions?
Are you working in your business rather than on your business, I suppose, getting down into the minutiae of the things.
Exactly. And these 4 pillars are working on your business, are innovating. You're not in your business at all. The only time when I consider being in your business is if you're working with your team.
Right.
That's okay. So let's jump into the goodies. Okay. The 4 pillars, the core 4. They're actually going to that these are the only 4 actions that lead to sales. So you can forget about.
You're giving me too much now, Morgan. Come on. Let's get going.
Yeah, dude, I got you. You guys got to understand that anything besides these 4 are distractions. Okay. So what are the 4? We have conversations. Okay. I'm going to explain each piece of this. 2, content, right? 3 is honing your offer. Okay. And then 4 is creative testing. You're probably like, what do you mean? What about posting on Facebook and running ads? And it's all covered.
All of that stuff. Exactly.
That's it. And when you simplify your business down, you're going to find that you're spending hours and hours on concentrated work that is directly leading to your business growth. So I think you guys kind of understand now why I started out and I prefaced with team and systems as the most important thing, because if you don't have a team, you don't have a systems, right? Then you're not going to be able to focus on these core 4. So, and I want to stress this to you guys, that 2 team members, remember that 2 team members, if you're under 20K a month, which is most of you guys, most agencies, and it's really only 1. If you are starting out and you're fresh and you don't have, any team member right now, you need to start out with a part-time VA, eventually bring them up to full-time, eventually bring on the delivery manager. If you have a VA right now, then you got to master that VA before you can even think about outsourcing anything else. Okay. So anything that can be SOP'd, anything that you can outsource to a VA, you should be outsourced before you even think about bringing on the next team member. If you have that right, your VA is operating properly. At that point, then you can think about bringing on a delivery manager or delivery expert, whether that's social media management, whether that's Facebook ads, whatever it is. It only takes 1 part-time.
We're talking about a low-cost model here. How much should a VA be costing you per month? How much should a delivery manager be costing you per month? And then, well, Seta, we can get onto later on. If you're talking about, scaling to $20,000, $30,000, what percentage of that ends up going onto your team?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the lean team, so the first 2 team members, if you're under 20K, you should be spending less than $20 an hour on your team. Now, it could be like a little bit more, maybe 25, but the way it works is that a VA costs around $3 to $5 an hour. I've seen some like 6. It really depends on what they can do. Some of them can handle your media buying as well. And, that means that you're not going to need, if you're like a Facebook ad manager, right? Or, if they have experience in delivering in whatever your service is, you're not going to need another team member. There you go. That's your lean team too, right? It's going to be VA and then eventually a setter. So, and I was operating that way for a little while. And it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's great. Eventually I did upgrade to a marketing manager. So, how much was I paying them? Well, I went through a few. I went through 10 different VAs, 5 different marketing managers, in the year that I was trying to figure out my systems when I, learned about SOPs and I learned about the power of delegation.
Mm-hmm.
Only like a year and a half ago. And we started out with, we brought on some people in the States, and then Canada as well.
Right.
And that was the first 4 marketing managers that we were using. They were only $20 an hour. So that's still not too expensive, but
no,
even better than that, if you can get somebody, obviously a VA, you guys probably know, Pakistan, or I'm sorry, not Pakistan, sorry, Philippines.
well, you can go to Pakistan as well. If they've got quality candidates, you can go anywhere: Philippines, Pakistan, India. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't want to be racist here, guys. It really doesn't matter. It's all about their competency and also like their English. Like that's going to be a big factor. But yeah, don't be racist. So now where I'm at, the reason why I said Pakistan is because my marketing manager is in Pakistan,
Right.
and he's awesome. Like I only have him working a couple of hours a day, like almost on a contract basis, but I do pay him, $15 an hour. And
oh wow, okay, that's a really deep price.
I might not have led up to that properly, but it's $15 an hour that I pay them.
Right.
And he is very more skilled with Facebook ads than me. So you can even get somebody who has their own agency delivering the same thing as you and just have them follow your SOPs, just like the certain preferences that you want. But the thing with the SOPs, and really every single team member needs to have an SOP all the way up to a setter, to a closer, even an operations manager. Every single team member needs to have an extent of SOPs, but the higher up that you go, the less SOPs that's going to be, because it's mostly going to be skill based.
Yeah.
So I just want to preface with that, but that's my current team stack right now is my VA, who I pay $5 an hour, and my marketing manager, who I pay $15 an hour.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for explaining that so beautifully. Coming back to the other 4 pillars,
Yes.
Let's start off with conversations. What are we talking about? Sliding into people's DMs, that the approach that we all hate, or how do you like to go about having more conversations about your business?
Yeah, so it absolutely does go down in the DMs, indeed, and that's like only one part of it. So there's 3 main parts of conversations. Now, what I love about these 4 pillars is that it's like the marker for anything else that you'd have to think about. So just remember this, that there's 3 pieces of conversation and there's 3 pieces of content. So it's very, very simple to remember, and this is everything you have to account for. So 1 is cold message. Okay. Number 2 is calls.
Yeah.
Right? And number 3 is your CRM. Isn't that cool? It starts with all of them. Yeah. I think it's yeah. I don't know. I always think that's cool. I didn't even time for that, right? I'm not trying to fit
no,
words.
and it's quite self-explanatory. So that's
It is.
Hopefully most people understand what that stands for, under the conversations side of things. Right. So we've got conversations, and no, I think those 3 pillars are fine. Yeah. You don't need to spoon feed people, hopefully, but that's quite straightforward. Absolutely. Moving on from conversations to content, because I think a lot of us are happy going into groups and speaking to people online or emailing people, or people hate cold calling, but it is a part of agency life for a lot of the larger agencies. How do we bring content into the mix?
Yeah. So there's three main ways that I do it. Now, here's the thing. You want to be tapped into as many platforms as you can that you can maximize. So you don't want to dilute yourself too much, but any place where your ideal clients are, you want to try it out. So just remember that. Now, the ways that where I post content is I have an email list, and I send them to I send them email marketing. 2, I have a Facebook group, and 3, I have a Facebook feed.
Mm-hmm.
with that, like my story, right? Now, what it's really it's really simple. I mean, what I do, the way that I do content is that I just come up with an idea for that day that's relating back to the core thing that I offer, and the core, like the what kind of guy I am. You know what I mean? I'm the systems guy. I'm the narrow gate that leads to scale guy.
Yeah.
So all of my content just goes back to that, and I really have a passion for what I teach because it allowed me to grow. So content should really just come naturally to you guys. Just look up Seinfeld, I think it is the shoot. I'm trying to think of the name. I think that's what it's called though, like a Seinfeld post. Seth Godin, I think it
Right.
is.
Yes, Seth
Yeah,
Godin. Yes.
Godin. Yes, yeah, he's the one.
Godfather of marketing.
Yeah, so that's what I follow for that. And what's awesome is that a lot of these can be cross posts. So not only cross posted, but repurposed. So I pretty much send the same not cold email, sorry, email marketing. So like to my list as my Facebook post. Now the only difference is that I just have like a different call to action at the end, which I
Right.
just, hey, reach out to me on Messenger. That's a cool little tip for you guys that I got from my boy Josh Gavin, which is to not try to get them to book a call right off the email, but send them over your Facebook Messenger.
Ask them for a date, not marriage, or the simple way to put it.
Correct. And then, yeah, I mean, my Facebook group, it's pretty simple. In fact, you guys are gonna see my Facebook group. You guys are gonna know about agency scaling systems, because that's actually where our course is, the mini course that I was selling for $9.97. We uploaded to the group, and anybody who gets in the group gets accepted is going to get access to that. So yeah, we were selling that for $9.97. Awesome. So the last two pillars. Now, here's what's awesome, right? Conversation and content. I call that the 2 C's. Those are the only real actions that you're going to be spending your time on. Now you have, like I said, around 45 minutes that I spend with my team per day, if that. Now, any other time, you are going to be spending on the 2 C's with kind of the mindset of the last 2 pillars.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Those are thinking. The other ones are action. Okay. And the last 2, like I mentioned, are honing your offer and creative testing. And so what do you, first of all, your offer, okay? All of your messaging, all of your content, all of your conversations revolve around your offer. So in everything that you do, you should be looking at the feedback that you're getting from the market as you're having these conversations, as you're making the content, right? And what that's going to allow you to do is hone in this offer over time to see what people actually care about, to see what their actual problems are. When you have conversations with people on calls, over Messenger, whatever it is, you're going to learn their problems. And when you do that, and you do that a lot, if you focus hours of your time per day on just these 2 core things, these 2 core actions, the 2 C's, it's going to be very apparent what people need and what they don't. People are going to hit you up.
Or what people want, more importantly, because, I think that's where people are not kind of, hitting the nail on the marker. They go out, they talk about, I can run Facebook ads and provide you 10 million ROAS and this and that. They're talking about the vehicles for delivery, but not really tying it to what the end destination here is, what the result is, what the transformation is that the client actually wants. So
yeah,
no.
I mean, the point is most people don't want what they need.
Yeah.
So you gotta meet them in the middle with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, good point there. And then the last part is creative testing, and this could be testing your call script, your chat, your content method, your message script, cool message script, right? But it's just creative testing. And when I say creative testing, I mean not just copying it from a course and going from that, but it all adds together, because your offer you create completely yourself. You have to craft that. And it's really your unique angle. It's what makes you unique. It's like your message, right? And if it's similar to other people's, well, why don't they just go with you, right? Or with them, I meant to say. So when I say creative testing, it goes very hand in hand with your offer, because you're in the same way you're going to be creatively testing every single other facet of your business, besides like team and systems, because it's actually very, very simple, especially with what we're going to be going over in the program that I'm going to give you guys. So
Okay.
just the main thing that you guys got to remember is that the offer in creative testing is in everything that you do. So honing your offer, creative testing, that should always be in the back of your mind or even the front of your mind. And don't be afraid to spend 30 minutes to an hour a day just trying to come up with tests. You know what I mean? Maybe this isn't direct action that's going to lead to result, but it really is, because there's only 4 actions that leads to growth.
Awesome. No, that's a brilliant breakdown. So thank you so much for sharing this with our audience. Now, we've very quickly run out of time, Morgan, here. But for people who want to get access to your free training, your free resources, where's the best place for them to find you, to connect with you, and to essentially get access to these goodies?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Facebook. Just add me as a friend. You can also search up our group. It's Agency Scaling Secrets. Agency Scaling Systems, Delegation, SOPs, and Delivery. Is there a way that I can share my screen, or that could be helpful?
I don't know if people will be able to see that. I've no idea. I've
Right.
not
Well,
used this thing before, but Morgan Zolko, you've got a rather unique name. So if people find you and add you, that's probably the easiest way into your group. And then wherever I can drop a link, I'll drop a link for people to follow back to you, or a tag to follow back to you. But you've been an absolutely awesome guest. Wise beyond your years. So thank you very much for joining us. And
yeah.
any final words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, well, I just want to let you know what you guys are going to be getting by joining the group. It's the mini course is called the 5 Actions to 50K per month. Now you guys got an introduction on this podcast, but we're kind of short on time, and the course is multiple hours long. So we go into depths on each actions, but more specifically, the foundation to how you can spend all of your time on the core 4. That's the main focus of it. But we also give you guys our prospecting SOPs, so that you're going to have the foundation 100%, and you can build on that from there. Not only the prospecting SOPs that you can link up to your VA or even setter, but also the Jumpstart SOP templates. So the Jumpstart is everything that, I can't list out every single example here, but it's everything from the booking the call to the contracts to the, anything that's a simple, tedious, kind of micromanaging task can be outsourced to a VA. Every single one, I'm going to give you the SOP template to that.
Nice. No, that's very nice.
Where to find me? It's time to upgrade your business. Let's do this, guys.
Yeah, no, you should not be having to sell this too hard. I'm sure a lot of people who have been listening from the beginning will be totally sold. On that note, Morgan Zolko, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Abul. I appreciate it, man. And I'll talk to you soon.